If Christmas hasn't felt the same in a long time, stay. The next 10 seconds might change that.
I remember the weight of the remote in my hand. Not the thin plastic ones we have now, but the thick, heavy kind that took 4 batteries and clicked loudly with every channel change. It was Christmas Eve, and everyone else had gone to bed hours ago. The living room was quiet now, lit by the glow of the television and the blinking lights on the tree beside the couch. Nickelodeon was running a marathon. Rugrats first, then Hey Arnold, then Doug. I had seen these episodes before, maybe even twice, but that was fine. There was something comfortable about watching them late at night, when the house was silent except for the hum of the TV and the soft ticking of the heating system. I pulled the thick blanket around my shoulders. It was the plaid one, scratchy but warm, the kind that felt heavier than it looked. On the coffee table sat a mug of hot chocolate, half finished, a skin forming on top. I would probably drink it later. The tree lights blinked in patterns, red, green, yellow, blue, on and off, on and off. They reflected in the dark screen of the TV during commercial breaks. I could smell pine needles and chocolate and the faint scent of the heating vents. Outside, the street was empty. No cars, no voices. Just the occasional gust of wind rattling the windows. Inside, everything was still. The whole house felt settled for the night. I adjusted the blanket and kept watching. The next episode was starting. The town I grew up in was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone. Small streets lined with houses that all looked almost the same. Lawns that turned brown in summer and white in winter. A main street with a diner, a pharmacy, a post office. Nothing much happened there, but that was all right. Earlier that day, I had walked to the video store with coins jingling in my coat pocket. The VHS rental was only $1 on holidays. I picked up a copy of Elf, even though we already had It's a Wonderful Life at home. We probably wouldn't watch either one. Christmas Eve was usually for TV marathons. The TV of Tubo sat on a wooden stand in the corner. It was massive, boxy, with fake wood paneling on the sides. When you turned it on, it made a soft whirring sound, and the picture took a second to appear. The colors were never quite right. Everything looked a little too warm, a little too orange. Through the window, I could see the neighbor's porch light glowing yellow. It was steady and bright. Most houses on the block had their lights on too, even though it was past midnight. People left their lights on during Christmas. I reached for the cereal box on the table. Fruity Pebbles. The box was bright and colorful, covered in cartoon characters. I ate straight from the box, handful by handful, letting the sugary pieces crunch between my teeth. It tasted familiar. The episode of Rugrats ended. The credits rolled. I didn't change the channel. I just let it keep playing. There was something nice about staying up late on Christmas Eve. It felt peaceful being awake when everyone else was asleep. I thought about other kids probably doing the same thing, sitting in their living rooms wrapped in blankets, watching the same shows. The VHS I had rented sat on top of the TV, still in its plastic case. I hadn't opened it. Maybe I would watch it tomorrow. Maybe I wouldn't. It was just there, part of the day. The couch smelled like old fabric and laundry detergent. I sank deeper into it, adjusting the blanket so it covered my feet. The heat from the vents made the room a little stuffy, but it was comfortable enough. Hey Arnold came on. The opening theme played, tinny and familiar. I knew most of the words by now. On screen, Arnold walked through the city with his football-shaped head. I liked that show. It made the city look warm, even in winter episodes. The tree lights kept blinking. The screen kept glowing. The house creaked softly, settling in the way old houses do. I could hear the furnace kick on in the basement, then the quiet whoosh of warm air through the vents. I shifted on the couch and pulled the blanket higher. My eyes felt a little heavy, but I wasn't ready to sleep yet. There were still more episodes to watch. I took another handful of cereal from the box, even though it was mostly crumbs now. The episode continued. Arnold helped someone. Things worked out. The credits started. Doug came on next, and it was the Christmas episode I liked. The one where Doug imagines himself as Quailman saving Christmas. The animation looked softer in the dim light of the living room. I settled back into the couch. This was a nice one to watch. The room felt a little warmer. The lights from the tree blinked steadily. Through the window, I noticed snow starting to fall. Just a few flakes at first, drifting through the glow of the streetlights. That was nice. It felt like a normal Christmas Eve night. I reached for the cereal box again, shaking the last few pieces into my palm. They were mostly dust now, tiny fragments of color. I ate them anyway. The episode moved toward its ending. Doug saved Christmas. Patty smiled at him. Everything worked out the way it usually did. I had seen it before, but it was still good. A comfortable kind of story. The credits rolled. I let out a small breath. Outside, the snow was falling a bit harder now. Inside, the tree lights kept blinking. Red, green, yellow, blue. The TV hummed quietly. The house was still. I thought about getting up, turning everything off, going to bed. But I stayed there for a while longer, just sitting, wrapped in the blanket, watching the screen. It was a cozy moment. Another episode was starting. I could watch one more. I stayed on the couch for a while after that. The marathon kept playing, but I wasn't paying as much attention anymore. My mind wandered a bit. I thought about how quiet the night had been, how nice it felt to have the living room to myself. The hot chocolate in the mug had gone completely cold. I picked it up and drank the rest anyway, even though it was chalky now. It was fine, just part of the night. I thought about tomorrow, waking up to presents under the tree, the smell of cinnamon rolls in the oven. The house would be busy and loud. That would be nice too, but this was nice in a different way, quiet and still. I looked at the VHS case again, still unopened on top of the TV. I would return it in a few days, walking back to the video store with the rewound tape, dropping it through the slot, hearing it clunk into the bin. That was just the routine. The tree lights blinked steadily. My eyelids felt heavier now, but I didn't want to go to bed quite yet. I wanted to stay on the couch a little longer. Watch one more episode, maybe. I pulled the blanket tighter and closed my eyes for a moment, just resting them. The TV kept playing in the background. When I think back on that night now, it's a memory I still carry. The tree lights, the TV glow, the falling snow outside, the taste of cold hot chocolate and stale cereal. It was a quiet Christmas Eve. I don't remember falling asleep. I don't remember waking up the next morning or opening presents or eating breakfast. Those details have faded. But I remember the feeling, the weight of the remote, The scratch of the blanket, the hum of the television, the blinking lights. It was nice to have that time to myself. Just sitting there, watching cartoons, not thinking about much. A peaceful kind of moment that happened without planning. I think about it sometimes, not often, but when Christmas comes around and I see old TV reruns or hear those theme songs, it brings me back a little. To that couch, that blanket, that dark room. It became a memory I still think about. One of those small things that stays with you. Not because anything big happened, just because it was comfortable and quiet and mine. The lights kept blinking. The TV kept playing. The snow kept falling. And for that night, everything was still and simple. It was a nice Christmas Eve I still remember.